How the sun is setting on the narcissist. Think about that for a minute. So you're learning about narcissism, and you're also learning that the days of the narcissist running this planet are about to come to an end. You're also learning about mindset, you're learning about energy, about toxicity, about empathy, and about breaking the chains of a dark energy that was wrapped around you. You see, the narcissist is similar to a creature that has multiple tentacles, and these tentacles continue to smother the person, the target, just like they smothered me. They were smothering you. Just when you thought you figured out what was going on, no, there was more work that needed to be done to remove those tentacles, to remove the narcissist from your life. Now, I've shared this for years in videos. I'm continuing to do it today, and I'll continue to do it out tomorrow and going forward. There are 4 ties that must be cut from the person you're considering to you. Those 4 ties are the emotional, the financial, the physical, and the spiritual tie. As they are cut, you get stronger. Cut means severed, they're removed, never to be added again, never to be connected again. As they are cut and severed, you get stronger. As you get stronger, the narcissist gets weaker. Their grip on you, the pull that they had with you, it becomes less and less effective. The less effective that the narcissist is with manipulating you, the more clarity, the more clearness arrives in your mind. And the clearer your mind gets, the more you realize that not only was that relationship not as bad as you thought it was 1,000 times worse. Which is why, again, this is the relationship you need to heal from. And that's why you are on the healing path. Whether you know it or not, you are on the healing path. And this is why this video today is being created, because the sun is going down on the narcissist. You see, if you notice, before you figured out what narcissism was, you were oblivious to certain behaviors on the planet, yet the narcissist was all around you. You were giving to a fault, yet you couldn't figure out why you were the one that was being targeted. You kept on wearing your heart on your sleeve and explaining to people, many of which you turned out to be toxic, what you were thinking. You didn't realize that you were giving them the playbook to abuse you more. Now, all this equals a couple things for this part of the video. One of the main things is you need to realize that everybody isn't who they appear to be on this planet called Earth. The next thing you need to realize is that you were targeted and you were manipulated because of your level of empathy, because of who you are, because of your ability to care, your ability to love, your ability to help people without expecting anything in return. And that all was taken advantage of by the narcissist. When you realize these things, that there actually are people out there that don't care about other people. And I do mean the key word is people, human beings I'm referring to. Because when another human being deliberately, intentionally, and on purpose targets another person because they want to take something from that person, but also they want to create a false narrative and they want to paint that person in a negative light. Essentially, they're jealous and envious of that person, but they don't want that person to excel or to accomplish whatever they're trying to accomplish. When we realize these things, then we realize, yeah, toxicity does have 2 legs. Yes, the narcissist does exist. Yes, they've been around us since the minute we were born up to and including this very moment. That's why you need to take this very seriously. That's why when you feel that you're strong enough or that you have enough energy or you're in the right position in life, the right place in your life, you need to go no contact. You have to block that person. You will have to delete them, you will have to remove them, and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. If you've done it, you know that it has served you very, very well. If you haven't done it, then you need to ask yourself a few questions. What are you waiting for? Are you still holding on to something? What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for the kids to graduate university or high school? What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for the divorce to get finalized or the assets, etc.? If you've done all this heavy lifting, meaning all the tethers are cut from you to the narcissist, and you still haven't gone no contact, you need to ask yourself why. But all of those things I'm mentioning to you, they equal that this is your journey. Just like I have my journey, and each and every one of us have our own journeys. Every one of our journeys are similar, yet unique to ourselves. Example, we all experienced gaslighting. Yes, we did. We all experienced a degree of rage fits or triangulation. We all experienced the discard or the ending of the relationship. We also, most of us experienced counter-parenting, not co-parenting. We experienced financial abuse. We experienced people not understanding what we were going through other than the narcissist and yourself, meaning when you were trying to explain to average everyday people what you were going through, they wouldn't be able to wrap their head around it because they were oblivious. You went through hell and back just like I did. And that's why the days of the narcissist are numbered. And that's why the sun is beginning to set on the narcissist. And when that sun sets, I can assure you, for the narcissists, plural, it's not going to rise the same way it's risen for them for years and years and years. Will the sun rise? Absolutely, it will rise. One of the best books ever written. The sun will rise. Well, the sun also will rise. Ernest Hemingway, one of the best books I've ever written. The Old Man and the Sea. There are so many others for whom the bell tolls. I created that video in 2021. On and on and on. But the sun will rise. It will rise just like it will tomorrow and the day after the day after. The thing that you need to understand, it's not going to rise shining on the narcissist the way it used to. Now, I'm going to tie many things together here for you. First of all, you need to remember the narcissist needs supply. You are not supply. You are a beautiful, bright, shining light. What is a beautiful, bright, shining light? That is a person who has a high level of empathy, who was targeted, tricked, trapped, manipulated, and taken advantage of for a period of time, which was the length of the relationship when you were under the thumb of the narcissist. And now that you understand where you were and what happened to you, you've healed. But you were the beautiful, bright, shining light long before the narcissist met you. It's just that to the narcissist, you were what is known as not only the new supply, but you were the next shiny object. You see, you lured them in. They lured you in. They were attracted to you. They were drawn to you. You were drawn to them. They were drawn to you. The thing is here, and I hope you're following all of this part of the video, is they are a predator. You are not. You're an empath. You're a kind, loving, stable, healthy person. So you were attracted to a certain person. Maybe you weren't even physically attracted to the narcissist. Maybe it was their mind or their energy or something else lured you into the web. It's most likely it probably wasn't their physical looks. It was probably something else. But see, the narcissist also was lured into targeting you because of your beautiful, bright, shining light that you probably couldn't see before I coined that expression almost 6 years ago. You see, you had to lose yourself to find yourself. You didn't know who you were when you were in the relationship. You thought you did, but you didn't. And the narcissist stole everything out from underneath you, including your health, your time, your money, your energy, your identity, your relationships, your focus, your purpose, everything and more. And when they did that, they crumbled you up like a sheet of paper and they threw you away in the freeway via discard. And they never thought in a million years you would put yourself back together, but that's what you've done. And as you're healing, you're getting stronger. And as you're getting stronger, you're realizing that the sun will rise tomorrow. And it's going to rise extremely bright for you tomorrow and for the rest of your life. Because now you've seen things that very few people will ever be able to see and identify. Now you've experienced things that people only read about in books or they watch on documentaries. And now you've heard so much toxicity firsthand from the narcissist that you don't want to hear another syllable, another word, not only from them, but of toxicity. You see, you were trapped in the cycle and you were brainwashed, you were manipulated, and you didn't realize where you were because no one had told you ahead of time that the narcissists, plural, exist. But why I'm sharing all that, it's all coming together for you, or it should be, is that you're not supply. You are a beautiful, bright, shining light. And tomorrow when the sun rises, the sun will be shining on you. It's not going to be shining on the narcissist the way you thought it always did in the past. You see, the narcissist is shrouded with a cloud of darkness. They are shrouded with the underworld's toxicity. They are shrouded by illusions. They are shrouded by future faking. And they're cloaked by toxicity. And what they want to do is envelop. Yeah, the word envelop. You probably have never even used that word, have you? Probably not. They envelop. They consume. They surround and trap people into that whole place that is called the devaluation stage, the trauma bond, and the narcissistic fog. And all three of those places are unique to themselves, yet interchangeable, and they all equal one word: toxicity. And this is what the narcissist did. This is how they lassoed you into that web of manipulation, and they took whatever they could from you. Well, once that ended, meaning once the narcissist took whatever they could from you, that's when the discard most likely took place. And that's when you thought that tomorrow the sun would never rise again, it would never shine on you, and that the narcissist had let's say for this part of the video, and I won't say this ever again in a video, that you probably or most likely thought that the narcissist just went off happily ever after with a new supply and they were living their best life and it was cookies and rainbows and snickerdoodles and Twinkies and you were missing out and they were living their best life. Well, you now know that that's not what happened. What you now know is what happened is the narcissist simply captured or lured another target into their web, into their den of lies, and they slithered. They didn't gallivant, they slithered off into the darkness with said person, which is a new supply source. Well, the narcissist will feed from that supply source until they can't feed any longer. Then they will venture out into the world and look for another host, another person that they can feed off of. And that's what they did with you. That's what they're doing with the new supply. And that's what they did with people long before they met you. But as I'm mentioning, and as I'm tying it all together here for you in the video, the sun is beginning to set on the narcissist. The sun is really, and I mean really, beginning to rise and shine on you. And you may say right now, as you're sitting down, you may be saying, oh my gosh, that's actually happening. It's been a long time coming, Andrew, but it's really happening now for me. Why is it happening now? Why didn't it happen yesterday? Why did it take so long for it to happen? And why is what you're sharing completely accurate right now for me in my lifetime? Well, I'll tell you why. Because you've been patient. You've been stoic, you've been centered, you've been focused on cutting the ties from the narcissist. You've been diligent, you've been doing your work behind the scenes. You've been doing your mental push-ups. Think of it this way. When a person wants to get a body, a physical body, in great shape, what do? Well, they have to exercise. Many times they go to the gym or get trainers, whatever they do, but they have to exercise, and then their body turns out to be the way they want it to be, or close to it. You were doing the exact same thing behind the scenes, but what you were doing you weren't physically working out, although maybe you were. You were mentally working out. You were mentally doing the jujitsu moves and the karate moves and the feng shui moves and the tai chi moves and the muscle weightlifting moves. You were doing all the push-ups behind the scenes, all the running, all the exercise. You were diligent and focusing on yourself. You were watching videos. You were seeing a therapist that knew what they were talking about. You were reading. You were writing. You were journaling. You were meditating. You were slowing your life down. You were staying in that cocoon of boundaries until you knew that you could exit it. You were really taking a close, hard look at your life. And remember, your life went sideways when one person entered it. Can you guess who that one person is? You nailed it. Ding, ding, ding. The narcissist. You see, before you met the narcissist, maybe things were going great with you. I know one thing for me, they were going fantastic. Things were never going better my entire life, personally. What happened? Well, I was riding the wave of all the hard work I had placed into myself, thinking that I knew what was going on the planet. Lo and behold, here's the narcissist, and boom. That's what happens. Then I figured out what narcissism was. The rest is history. But the sun will rise for you and it will shine on you, not on the narcissist. And the reason why it's shining on you now and tomorrow and every day afterwards, it will be shining on you. And this is a literal metaphor and a literal and actual metaphor. Literal and metaphoric, you get my point. Meaning, if the sun isn't shining where you live, maybe you live where it rains 300 days a year. Doesn't mean the sun isn't still shining on you. See what I'm saying? Okay, good. Why I'm saying that is because the narcissist days are numbered. The clock is ticking on the narcissist. They had free run of the planet for so many centuries, and now that's coming to an abrupt ending. Yes, the word abrupt was used. Now, is it going to happen tomorrow? No. Could it happen tomorrow? Easily. It will continue to be unwound and unraveled more and more and more, meaning more and more people are becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered. More and more people that have been jettisoned from the narcissistic cycle have put themselves back together. More and more people are now using terms such as gaslighting, projection, the smear campaign. I'm hearing the smear campaign left, right, and center these days, way more than I ever thought I would hear it. And why do you think these words are becoming more and more prevalent in the lexicon of the person who's using them? It's because they're hearing them and they actually have had experience with these words. Let's talk about the smear campaign for a minute. What is the smear campaign? Smear campaign is when a person who turned out to be, in this case, the narcissist, was trying to destroy your life using other people, meaning flying monkeys, enablers, pawns, if you will, people who didn't even take 1 second and ask you what happened with you, because they didn't need to ask you because they were already drinking the Kool-Aid and they were already groomed by the narcissist. So they didn't care what you said. They cared that the narcissist, whatever the narcissist said, and they believed that whatever the narcissist said was the truth. And that's how it will stay until when? That's right, until it changes. Because what people are beginning to understand, and I've shared this for months in videos now, is that the days of the narcissist are running low. They're running out. The narcissist reign on this planet, as in not reign, R-A-I-N, R-E-I-G-N. It's about to come to an end. And more empathy is taking over the planet. You may see this, you may not see it. You will see it in the very, very near future. But there's a reason you came to my channel. There's a reason you're drawn to my channel. There's a reason you're part of the community. It's not only because I'm an empath, and you most likely are, it's because I was in the cycle, and I was taken advantage of and decimated, and I was crumbled up like a sheet of paper thrown away in the freeway. But I made it, and I'm out. Because I'm out, I pay it forward each and every day by creating videos to help you out. And my hope is you have healed or you're healing. And then as you are healing or you've healed, you too can pay it forward in any capacity that you see fit to help the collective consciousness grow, to help the sun shine brighter, not only on you, but on anybody who has value in your life, meaning healthy, stable people. The narcissist is a dark energy source. The light exposes the narcissist. The light makes the narcissist shrivel up. Let's go back to an old monster analogy from the old days. Remember in the old days, we used to have certain monsters. Monsters would be like Frankenstein or Dracula or the werewolf or creature from the Black Lagoon, all those things. Well, let's focus on Dracula for a moment. What is Dracula? Okay, Dracula's a vampire. What does Dracula do? Okay, well, Dracula sucks blood out of people. What does Dracula do? Dracula places people in that trance-like, zombie-like state. What else does the vampire do? It doesn't like the sun. If a ray of sunlight comes down and hits the vampire, it burns. Kind of like in The Wizard of Oz when the witch had water thrown on her and she said, I'm melting, and she disappeared, disintegrated. Well, the vampire is similar. What do you think the narcissist is? You're getting it. That's why the thumbnail looks the way it does. That's why I create videos. That's why you need to understand this is way more serious than just the word narcissism. This is a battle for goodness and for evil. This is a battle for life and death. This is a battle for your soul. And when I say that, I mean it. Now, I haven't been that deliberate using that exact expression ever in a video, but if you've watched me for over the 5.5 years, you'll realize I've given you many nuggets of wisdom, many ideas, little hints, if you will, that the direction of where this channel is going, not only the channel, but the path, the ascension, the elevation, and the wisdom. And now is a good time as any to let you know, as I'm sitting here in the Carolina woods, that this is a battle for your existence, and you need to take it very, very seriously. So what you need to do, just like I've done, and I understand you may not be where I am on the healing path. Maybe you're further along in the path that I am. Maybe this is the first video you're ever watching. Any way you cut it, you need to recognize one thing, that when you were in the relationship with the narcissist, you were shining all of your beautiful, bright, shining light on them. You were propping them up. You were changing their diapers. You were regulating them emotionally. You were giving them your time, your money, your energy, your hopes, dreams, aspirations, and so much more. You put it all away from yourself. I'm acting as an example. This is a beautiful, bright, shining light that I possess within me, and it's real. Instead of this shining on me, you shined it over here on the narcissist. It's the same thing I did. And what happened? Well, that light was too bright for the narcissist to stay in it as longer than they could have because they couldn't handle it. This is true. On top of that, they realized, or they thought they realized, that you were so broken that your light was getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, and they needed a brighter light, i.e. supply source. And third of all, once that discard happened, or once it ended, however it ended with you, all that energy, after you figured out who they were, all that energy, instead of it going out into the narcissist, you turned it and it went back into you. Back into you. And as that energy went back into you, you began to get stronger and heal. And the narcissist did not have access to your energy to your ideas, your thoughts, your emotions, your time, to anything from you. And that does damage to the narcissist. Again, I don't wish ill will upon anybody. I'm not going to start now. Frankly, the narcissist is going to get whatever comes to them, but it won't come in the hands of me, and it won't come in the hands of a human being. It's going to come at the hands of a power much greater than a mere mortal. But having said that, you need to realize that the narcissist days are numbered. The sun is setting on them. And when you go no contact and block that person, that's one less avenue of communication, one less person that the narcissist can approach and try to triangle or triangulate with, or try to destroy, or try to play the victim card, or enter another round of the cycle with. And as you do your part, as I've done my part, others are doing their parts, and eventually the narcissist will have nowhere to go, and the sun will set on them. And this isn't just hope. It's not hopium. It's not me wishing for it to happen. I told you before, I'll say it again. I don't want to harm anybody. I've never done it deliberately in my entire life. Have I hurt people? Yeah, of course. But I've helped people also. And I've helped a hell of a lot more people than I ever hurt unintentionally. Flip it. What does the narcissist do? They don't help anybody unless it benefits them. And what they do, they hurt anybody. And I mean anybody who gets too close to them. Mainly people that possess the beautiful, bright, shining light. And that is you. And it certainly is me. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the very quiet Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. I want to share a couple things. One, many people are getting the message now, which means they don't have to tolerate toxicity. They don't have to be around negativity, and they don't have to put out fires for other people who have never lifted a finger in their entire lives to help out them. I hope you play that part of the video and play it over and over and over again. Not only are you one of those people, and I've been one of those people for almost 6 years, 5 years, but when you realize that everything you've ever wanted on this planet called Earth, it's within you. Everything you've ever wanted is within you. It's not within another person. It's not within getting the latest smartphone. It's not within getting the $10,000 pair of sneakers. It's not. It's within you. And what you do with your time, your energy, and your existence is up to you. But I can assure you one thing. If you still have tentacles or tethers connected to you by the narcissist, any way, shape, or form, you cannot live an authentically abundant, liberated life, free, full of peace, and full of harmony, and full of trajectory. If you even have one tentacle still around you, you still are going to be having to work to cut that tentacle away from you, which is why you have to cut those 4 ties. Flip it. Once those 4 ties are cut, they're never, and I mean never, going to be placed around you again. Why? Because you won't allow it. You won't allow it. I won't allow it in a million years. Never going to happen. The narcissists, plural, had their best shots at me. Truth be told, I was on the canvas way more than I even know. And I was knocked down for the count multiple times. But I got up every single time. And so did you. That's why the sun is setting on the narcissist. And that's why the sun is shining on you, the beautiful, bright, shining light. Love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye. Enjoy yourselves, people. I love you all. Sending you a big virtual heart and virtual hug. I love you. Bye.